I'm not exactly the kind of person who believes in ghosts or demons. I've always thought most horror stories were exaggerated, or maybe made up for clicks or attention. Maybe someone out there can explain what I saw, what I felt. But what happened to me in 2019 at a small old bathhouse in Kyoto changed everything. I'm telling you this story not because I want to scare anyone, but because I need to get it off my chest. My Airbnb host recommended a small, traditional Sentua public bathhouse, tucked away in an alley, barely wide enough for a single person to walk through. I was intrigued. I grabbed my towel and headed there around 8 p.m., just before closing. An elderly woman behind the counter greeted me without words, just a slow nod and a crooked smile. She pointed me to the men's section. Back in late October, I took a solo trip to Japan. I'd just gotten out of a messy breakup and needed time away from everything: family, friends, my ex, the noise. I spent most of the trip wandering ancient shrines and temples, feeling the calm I hadn't felt in months. On my last night in Kyoto, I wanted to do something relaxing. It wasn't on any tourist maps. It was local, she said. Very old, peaceful, the place was. Beautiful, in an old, forgotten sort of way. The wood was worn smooth by generations. The air was thick with steam and faint incense. It was quiet, too quiet. I undressed, rinsed off at one of the little stools, then slowly lowered myself into the hot water. The heat relaxed my muscles almost instantly. I was the only one there. Or, I thought I was. About 5 minutes in, I heard splashing, not gentle splashing either. Like someone had dropped into the water on the far end, but I hadn't seen anyone come in. No door creaked, no footsteps. I turned, expecting to see someone, but there was no one. Just water, rippling, disturbed. I stared at it for what felt like a full minute. Then I chuckled to myself, thinking I was just tired. Travel fatigue and the steam messing with my senses. I leaned back again. Then, I heard the whispering. It was soft at first, like someone just behind my ear, whispering in a language I didn't understand. I spun around. Nothing. I even called out, "Hello," thinking someone there. Just the echo of my own voice and the bubbling of the water heater. Silence. I stood up to get out. Something didn't feel right anymore. My skin was crawling, but then I saw it. In the reflection of the water, there was a face, and a slit of a mouth stretching unnaturally wide. It wasn't mine. It was next to mine, just behind me. Pale skin, black eyes, no whites, just glossy black voids. I turned instantly. Gone. But when I looked back at the water, there were wet footprints leading away from the bath, disappearing behind the wooden partition. I never heard them, never saw anyone leave. I grabbed my towel, heart hammering, and rushed to get dressed. As I stepped out into the hallway, I saw the old woman at the counter again. But this time, she wasn't smiling.
Oh.
Then she said something in Japanese. I didn't catch it all, but I recognized 2 words. I just nodded, gave a nervous smile, and left. The cold night air hit me like a slap. I couldn't get away fast enough. She looked up at me slowly, her eyes almost sad. Onru, still here. I didn't know what it meant at the time. When I got back to my Airbnb, I looked it up. Onru, it means vengeful spirit. Okay, ghost, bound by rage or sorrow, unable to move on. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I asked my host about that bathhouse. She frowned and told me it had been closed for years. Said the woman who ran Iton, old widow, had disappeared in 2006 after her only son drowned. In the bath, she was never found. The bathhouse had apparently shut down shortly after. But I was there. I was inside. I told her the address, showed her a photo I took of the outside. Her face went pale. "That's not possible," she said. "That place burned down 2 years ago." I didn't believe her. Ashes, charred wood, overgrown weeds spilling through the remains, until I went back. The alley was still there, but the building was a blackened shell. But on the edge of the ruins, half buried in the dirt, is my towel, the one I brought, still damp. So yeah, don't go to bathhouses anymore. And sometimes when I take a shower late at night, I see steam fog up the mirror. And for a split second, a pale face with black eyes grinning behind me. If this story gave you chills, imagine what's lurking in the next one. Subscribe to DarkVision 13 for more true horror stories that will keep you up at night. Like if you've ever felt something watching you where no one should be, and tell us in the comments. Have you ever seen something in the mirror that wasn't supposed to be there? Sleep tight if you can. We'll be watching.